June 23rd, 1985. A day that began like any other but ended in an unspeakable tragedy. Air India Flight 182 vanished from radar screens over the Atlantic Ocean. 329 souls plunged towards the unforgiving waves below. The world watched in horror as news of the disaster unfolded. A Boeing 747 reduced to fragments scattered across the ocean surface. It was a grim jigsaw puzzle of shattered dreams and lives cut short. The crash, later determined to be an act of terrorism, sent shockwaves across the globe. It was a stark reminder of the vulnerability of innocent lives to the dark forces of hatred and extremism. The bombing of Air India Flight 182 remains the deadliest act of aviation terrorism in Canadian history. It left a scar on the nation's soul, a chilling testament to the devastating reach of extremism. But beyond the statistics, beyond the headlines, lay the shattered lives of hundreds of families. Parents who lost children, children orphaned, husbands and wives left with a void that could never be filled. Their stories, woven into the fabric of this tragedy, serve as a constant reminder of the human cost of such acts of barbarity. To understand the motives behind the bombing, we must delve into the turbulent waters of the Sikh separatist movement. In the 1980s, tensions simmered within the Sikh community, a significant minority in India. Many Sikhs yearned for an independent homeland, Khalistan, carved out of the Punjab region. This desire for self-determination was fueled by a complex interplay of religious, political, and economic grievances. At the forefront of this movement was a faction that believed in achieving Khalistan through armed struggle. They painted the Indian government as an oppressive force, systematically marginalizing and persecuting Sikhs. These hardliners found fertile ground for their ideology among the Sikh diaspora, particularly in Canada, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Gurdwaras, Sikh places of worship, became hotbeds of radicalization, with fiery speeches urging young Sikhs to take up arms against the Indian state. The bombing of Air India Flight 182, a symbol of India's global presence, was a chilling manifestation of this simmering anger and resentment. Thousands of miles from the Punjab heartland, in the bustling Canadian city of Vancouver, the seeds of the Air India tragedy were being sown. A small group of Sikh extremists, driven by a potent cocktail of ideology and rage, were plotting an act of terror that would send shockwaves across the world. They operated under the radar, their true intentions masked by a veneer of normalcy. They were shopkeepers, taxi drivers, seemingly ordinary members of the community. But beneath the surface, a sinister plot was brewing. Their target, Air India, the flag carrier of India, a potent symbol of the nation they sought to dismember. Their weapon of choice, a bomb, meticulously crafted and concealed within the unsuspecting confines of luggage. The plan was audacious, the scale of their ambition breathtaking. They would strike a blow at the very heart of India, sending a message that would reverberate across continents. The bombing of Air India Flight 182 was not just an act of terrorism. It was a meticulously planned operation, conceived and executed with chilling precision. Section 4. The Trial and the Acquittal. A question of justice. The investigation into the Air India Flight 182 bombing was long and arduous. It involved international cooperation and legal battles. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police identified key figures involved. Rupatman Singh Singh Bagri were prime suspects. The trial captivated the nation. In 2005, the court delivered its verdict, not guilty. For the victims' families, justice remained elusive. Section 5. Shadows of Doubt. The murder of Ripudaman Singh Malik, the acquittal of Ripudaman. Singh Malik did little to quell the whispers and suspicions that swirled around him. He remained a controversial figure, his name forever linked to one of the darkest chapters in aviation history. For some, he was a scapegoat, wrongly accused of a crime he did not commit. For others, he was a master manipulator who had managed to escape justice. In July 2022, the world was once again forced to confront the ghosts of Air India Flight 182 when Ripudaman Singh Malik was gunned down outside his business in Surrey, British Columbia. His murder, a brazen act of violence in broad daylight, sent shockwaves through the community and reignited the debate surrounding his alleged involvement in the bombing. Was his murder a revenge killing, a vigilante act of retribution for the lives lost in the 1985 bombing? Or was it an unrelated incident, a tragic case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time? Section 6. A legacy of loss and unanswered questions. The bombing of Air India Flight 182 stands as a stark reminder of the human cost of extremism. It is a story of lives cut short, families torn apart, and a community grappling with the enduring legacy of a tragedy that shook the world. The investigation, the trial, and the subsequent assassination of Ripudaman Singh Malik have done little to provide closure for the families of the victims. Questions remain unanswered. Who ordered the bombing? Were there others involved in the plot who have yet to be brought to justice? The murder of Malik, while offering a sense of perverse justice to some, has only deepened the mystery, adding another layer of complexity to an already convoluted case. The bombing of Air India Flight 182 serves as a stark reminder of the enduring threat of terrorism, the long shadow it casts on the lives of survivors, and the importance of continued vigilance in the face of extremism.